Hi everyone, I'm Oxymoron here with CJ, my dude, with another episode of Master Debaters. So today we are going to be arguing about Revenge of the Sith. I can't speak. Revenge of the Sith, not six. Revenge of the Sith. I'm going to be my favorite Star Wars movie, so I'm going to be very passionate and possibly a little heated about this one because I love this movie to death. I'm going to be arguing that it is objectively a really good movie. And CJ is going to be
against it. Ooh. Arguing that it is objectively a bad movie. Boo! So this
should be interesting. Alright, who would you like to go first, or you wanting to go second?
I think it's fair. I went second on the last one. I can definitely take first. All right, so let me first say this and get this out of the way. I am a fangirl at heart. I think that it doesn't take a whole lot for a movie to produce for me to enjoy it. And so, if I'm watching Star Wars, like the Revenge of the Sith it's not one of the movies that I will ever turn off. I think that there are definitely other movies that are worse than it in the saga. My biggest gripe with Revenge of the Sith, and I think it's really hard to ignore, is the timeline for Anakin Skywalker falling to Vader. The prequels as a whole, you've got 3 movies that are designed to tell this fall of Anakin Skywalker. And the first 2 movies really don't do a whole lot for that. You see a little bit of that in Attack of the Clones, him getting upset and not liking the way that things are running. But for the most part, you don't really get to actually start to see the fall until Revenge of the Sith. And I'll say it here, you don't really see it until you're already a good chunk into it. I mean, we're talking about, a star pupil who's really powerful and has grown up as a Jedi. I mean, yeah, he was taken in a little late, but that's still easily 10, 15 years as a Jedi, depending on how old he was canonically. And in the matter of, I think, maybe days, he's all of a sudden completely flips to the dark side.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
I think that it does a disservice to the story of Anakin Skywalker, and I think it kind of makes a cheap ploy for, he's Vader now. It kind of seems like they made a whole script and then kind of figured out at the very end, they're like, holy crap, we have 3 movies worth and we haven't done anything about his fall to Vader. And so it feels very rushed. And if you look at the movie and you watch it with that in mind, it makes so much sense. Obviously you can talk about the goofy dialogue and like the CGI was not as impressive as I think it could be. I think really good CGI has happened in the past, and there's a difference between good for the time and then there's good whenever, and that's not something I really like to bash a movie like that for, but it just doesn't really help at the end of the day. So I don't know, I think that's my biggest point, and unfortunately, if that wasn't as big of a problem in the movie, I think that it would be maybe a smaller issue, but that is the whole point of the prequels. And so the fact that they just kind of rushed through this very important arc into Darth Vader, it just kind of kills it for me, and it's really hard to get on board with that for that reason. And I'll call that my time. I don't know how far I got because I don't have the time.
You have a minute and 43 seconds left.
I don't even need it. That's
my man, you get I'm about to eat you up, my dude. I'm about to eat you up. Gloves, metaphorical gloves are off. Let me reset this timer and let's just start off with a bang. You're just so wrong. I think people just don't actually analyze the movie. Did you watch the movies? It's one of those that I don't know if it's just because how drastic you think it goes from him being this hero to killing people. But it's one of those of like, how do you say they have not set this up? The man performed a mini genocide on the Sand People. Justified or not, doesn't matter if they killed his mom. They were awful. That's still horrific to do, and he got unpunished for it. Just kind of got waved aside. He's also been in war this whole time. We've seen that there's a war going on, and granted, not taking in fact Clone Wars, because that fixes even more of your issue with this. But we know he's been in war. We've seen that he has grown up. Like, it's not the Jedi anymore. They've shown that Anakin is rash, not as quick to his emotions, and his only advice, and I love Obi-Wan, my favorite character, but everything he's always been told is just kind of shove it down, do better. No one actually works through him with this stuff. And not to mention, that's the whole point of the dark side. I think that is the biggest symbolism you can get from this, is someone as amazing and good as Anakin can fall quickly to the allure of the dark side. And the dark side isn't, and that's the beauty of this, is he didn't do it originally just because I want power. He did it to save his family. I know everyone's like, oh, it's because of Padme and the love romance is so badly written. Granted, there are some dialogues that are very cringy.
You're so beautiful.
It's only because I'm so in love.
No. No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
So love has blinded you.
I'll give you that. The one flaw I can not argue against within this movie is some of the romantic dialogue is horrendous, but one bad part does not make a bad movie. What they do show, though, is look at, like, the motion when he finds out he's going to be a dad. That's real. He goes through fear, happiness, worry. He goes through such a great range that you would feel in his situation. And ultimately, when you think about it, his fall is not that fast when you actually think of the stakes and put yourself in it. Look at what he is. He's part of a peace-loving, order of the Jedi. And this order goes back on everything they say. They say, yes, that you have to follow the light. That's what's going to lead you to a better life. That's what the galaxy needs, is that balance. And yet then they go against their own orders. They tell him all this stuff, that you need to let go of everything you fear to lose. He can't do that. They don't understand that because they'd excommunicate him for having a wife, for having a kid. And the Jedi Code in itself is so convoluted of you have to be compassionate, but you can't have attachments. That makes no goddamn sense. And ultimately, when he's forced with this decision of who's going to save my family, the dark side is the only people, Palpatine's the only one that offers a solution. So why wouldn't he take it? Especially when you go, oh, well, it's such a turn. They turn. Flat out, Mace Windu does despicable things. We want you to spy on someone that we don't know is guilty yet. You have to take that into account, is that we know as the audience that Palpatine is evil. They don't. Anakin trusts him as a fatherly figure, and for them to be like, yeah, we want you to spy on him. Yeah, we want you to do this. Yeah, we want you to, yeah, we're just going to kill him. All that stuff is against the Jedi Code, yet that's everything that they've been shoving down his throat. So why wouldn't he? And then what's beautiful that they introduce with that arc is to show just how addictive that power is. Once he has the power, once he has joined the dark side, he's like, man, I'm getting way more shit done. I'm ending the war. I'm doing this. Then it's no longer just about saving his wife, because he realizes, well, I can have more. I can have my cake and eat it too. And that's the whole point of the dark side, is it's an addiction. It's not inherently bad to start. It's a slippery slope. It's the road to hell. It's paved with good intentions. Not to mention, you want to talk about bad CGI too, bro? You cannot disrespect General Grievous like that, my dude. I'm hurt. That's my boy. And the lightsaber fighting, the setting, you can't, nah, man, bad CGI. No, that opening scene alone, if you want to talk about also just the pacing of this movie is great. It hits with a bang, and then it keeps a good solid pace to just a jaw-dropping, balls to the wall climax. I mean, come on. This movie, as a fan, just taking it as a fan, is amazing. But also taking it objectively as a movie is super well paced, has a great telling story, has great entertainment, and has good stuff that you can analyze. I mean, just even the cinematography between the last time Obi-Wan and Anakin talk as like actual apprentice and master, where Anakin is covered in shadow and Obi-Wan is out in the light. It's just so sad to know that is the last time they are going to speak. But I have to stop there. I'm going to keep rambling, but that's my time, so...
Okay, in that case, I'm allowed to cut you off now. Okay, first of all...
Hold on.
General Grievous
we gotta go...
is good. I will say that not all of the CGI is terrible, and I will say that. Okay, I don't want you to think that I think General Grievous wasn't a great character design. I do recognize that it was very. I mean, it's General Grievous. Like he just looks so good, and I can fully recognize that.
And man, I saw this movie recently with the 20th anniversary, so I'll tell you now that CGI. There's only a few CGI moments I'm like, not that great, but.
For me, CGI is not about the scenes that are 100% CGI. It's about scenes that blend real life with CGI. And I think in Revenge of the Sith, there are more scenes, blended CGI actual footage scenes that are poor compared to good.
I disagree with that so much, man. There's so many iconic shots. I mean, look at any of the Mustafar fight. Hell, look at one of the coolest moments of Yoda and Palpatine battling, and they're going up into the Senate. And it's just massive, and they're throwing shit. Like, so much of that CGI, and that holds up today, is still awesome.
It's cool. It's really cool. But it's just not impressive.
I don't know what you're talking about. Have you seen current CGI, man? Like, let's be honest. We've, like, gone backwards. Ever since we did Davy Jones, like, CGI has that. There's only a handful of movies now that I'm like, okay, you did it well, but, like, look at The Flash, man. It's so bad. And, like...
That's the whole thing. We can take as much time as it takes. That's not what I mean. Hey!
Come on, this movie still holds up today. There's a reason it did well when it came back out for the anniversary.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean... I'm also kind of one, I hate dated movies, and the CGI, while it was impressive for the time, still feels dated.
I disagree, but...
That's fine. You're allowed to disagree on that. Let me get this point in before the time runs out. About the Jedi and their code and everything like that, and like that you have to, care about people, but you can't, hold compassion for any people. The fact that it's really hard to balance is absolutely intentional. That's kind of the whole point of the Jedi. And I think for him to be raised in this and initially completely understand this, I think that unfortunately, I feel like the fact that you're such a fan of it makes the pacing feel better.
No, it truly is, dude, because I hate Phantom Menace. There are two scenes in Phantom Menace that I only love and watch, and that's basically pod racing and Darth Maul's Duel of Fates fight. The rest you could cut out. It's really not good. It's horrible pacing. It's boring. It's not good.
Okay.
This movie is well done. Objectively speaking, its pacing is far better. Far more spaced out for its entertainment.
In terms of scenes is better, but in terms of the plot, it's too fast.
I think that's the point, is that this stuff also doesn't happen unless it happens so fast. That is the whole point, that Palpatine forced Anakin in this position where if he has more time, he doesn't turn to the dark side. That was the whole point, is that think of this like it's a real life tactic. How do people scam and trick you? They put you in a situation where you feel like if you don't take care of this, you're going to have fines, you're going to get arrested. They put you in a stressful situation where like, crap, I gotta do this now. I have to make a decision now. Instead of he actually calmed down, he'd be fine. And that's why it's so well done. That's the whole point, is that's the whole allure of the dark side. And honestly, to the Jedi's credit, that's why they keep preaching this shit, but they just don't actually have other practical situations. They should have seen a lot more with Anakin and been like, okay, this strategy isn't working. We need to do something else. But like I said, they shouldn't have been brought into the war in the first place. They really shouldn't have. They're a peacekeeping society. It's a really tough thing I don't look at my favorite character, Revan. I agree with him a lot, but it's one of those of I think you just shouldn't have a Jedi order. I think the Jedi should be basically monks. They don't do anything other than provide counsel and stuff like that. Otherwise, if you want people to have the Force and still be generals, that's fine, but they're no longer part of the Jedi. You know?
I guess I could see that. I think that in peacekeeping, there's a certain amount of deliberate peacekeeping that has to be done. And I can see how maybe the Jedi Order gets taken away or carried away with that. And I mean, it's a slippery slope. So I guess that does make a lot of sense.
And I will say, man, also, this movie, come on, the memes.
Mm.
The memes in this movie, so good. I could make so many clips of just from hello there, I hate you, I have the high ground, Master Skywalker, there's too many. I could just keep going. I love this movie, and it's good.
There's definitely a lot of memeing, but I wouldn't say that makes a movie good or bad.
It does. It does. It does. All the best movies have memes.
That's
Lord of the Rings has memes.
Plenty of bad movies also have memes.
That is true, but they're different kind of memes. We'll have to touch that up on a different discussion. That should be a good debate. Do memes... What... I don't know what we do. What makes better memes? A good movie with memes or a bad movie with memes?
Ooh.
Because I could go... I'd have to do research for that, because I off the top of my head, I could kind of go either or.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to say.
Yeah, I'd also have to look into that one. That one would be interesting.
Maybe that's for a sequel, but...
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, well, thank you all for joining us with Master Debaters. Let us know down below who you think won. Do you think Revenge of the Sith is objectively a good or bad movie? Let us know. Or even if you think one way but you think the other person did a better job, let us know. Give credit to CJ. He kind of has the hard topic in this. I feel like most people are going to agree this is it is a good movie. We love this movie. There's a reason it's kicked ass at the box office right now.
It is my favorite movie.
So.
But again, I'm easy to please. Hey, you give me a good lightsaber fight scene, and I'm absolutely set.
But with that, thank you everyone who's joined by. Please give us a like, follow, and comment. And we'll catch you all later.